Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
The options market isn't expecting another one of those tomorrow because with it trading at a 16 vol, it couldn't sustain a 16 vol and be trading at what, 1.5% today? Is that what you said? Down 1.5?
Yeah, I have it down at $1.41, or about 61. So yeah,
that's a huge move. Yeah, that's a great point. So, stay tuned on it. Andrew has a point. Let's see Andrew's point. All right. That. Sorry, I lost that. Andrew says the great thing about ICFX options when pursuing non-directional strategies is that you can choose your volatility by selecting your pair. That's a great point. That right now, at least the ones that I'm looking at, some of the cheaper ones, and again, who really knows what's cheap and what's expensive, but some of the lower volatilities are the European ones. Swiss franc, euro, and British pound are trading on the lower side. Some of the Asian currencies, like the New Zealand, Australian, whatever, and the Japanese yen are on the higher side. And so it really, as Andrew points out, it depends on your view. And Mike, I guess you touched on that too. It's all based on your view, correct?
Absolutely. If you think whatever you think Vol's going to do, that's just the bottom line.
Charlie has a question. What happens to an FX option if intervention occurs? So, the Swiss, they keep saying that maybe, and they have been intervening. What happens if the central bank comes in and buys or sells the currency? Do you mind?
I'm going to let you take that one, Steve, because that's one I yield to the power on that one. I wouldn't know what would happen.
What's interesting is that it's not that dissimilar from a large institution that decides to buy a certain equity or sell a certain equity. So what happens, it just means that the currency will either be under selling pressure or buying pressure. And that, of course, you don't necessarily know that, but when that's going to occur, although you never know if someone's going to want to buy your favorite equity either in size or sell it in size. It's not dissimilar. So when that happens, you might be expecting it. So if you're expecting the Swiss to come in and defend their currency, well, that would obviously strengthen SFC because it's a dollar-based view. So if you were thinking that, then you might look at calls or call spreads. But if it doesn't happen, what do you think is going to happen? Well, maybe the market's going to be taking it lower. So not that dissimilar to trading any old equity. And again, the Japanese have threatened that they might intervene, because, again, they view their currency, quote-unquote, they view their currency as being slightly overvalued. And as my colleague says, overvalued is going to be based on your view versus the market's view. So who really knows? But the Japanese have been threatening that, and the Australians did something today to sort of protect their currency. They raised rates. There's lots of ways to view this market. One might be technical. One might be looking at the interest rate differential. One might be looking at fundamentals. One might be fundamentals looking at currency, currency fundamentals, or the current account deficit. Lots of ways to look at it, but it's up to each investor to decide. I'm going to give everybody else 30 seconds to type in one last question. Mike, I want to thank you. Why don't we do it this way? Why don't you just make a last comment, and then we'll see if there are any other questions.
Okay. Well, just as always, it's always an honor to get to present on the ISE website. I've always had a lot of respect for the ISE exchange and still do today. This is the exchange that in a lot of ways changed the world of option trading with the way with which they went about electronic trading of options, so it's an honor to be a part of it. The other thing that I want to emphasize is currencies are real. There's something with which you need to be aware of. no matter what your view is, and they affect you in ways that you may or may not be aware of, and I think it's an important thing. If you do have any questions or are interested in having your money managed or trading through our platform or hedging any expenses that you're concerned with, my information's on the screen, and once again, thank you for the opportunity, Steve.
Mike, well said. In fact, you know what? I was on another call yesterday, and we were talking about nominal interest rates. And for those of you, I'm sure most of you know what a nominal interest rate is, but nominal interest rate is just a stated interest rate, and talking about how important the interest rates are. You know, that if you're getting 2%, you know, that's whatever, that's 2%. But if you're getting 2.5% or 3%, but your currency is being devalued by 7% a year, well, you're losing 4%. I think that's the point you're trying to allude to, Mike, is that, you know, there's ways to view the currency markets, and the interest that's paid by a certain country is not the only factor that you need to look at. It's also the potential to appreciate or depreciate, and Mike Tosaw at brokersexpress.com might be able to help you analyze your views of the currency markets and how you might be able to put it into an option strategy. Correct, Mike? Is that well said, or at least properly put, that you can do that for investors?
Absolutely. We work with it all the time, and currency is something that we look at for everyone's plan whenever we're managing money, or it's something with which we have a great deal of respect for.
Mike, I want to thank you on the behalf of the ISC. You do a great job, as always. Hope you'll come back real soon and deliver another presentation. I
would love to.
Thanks again, Mike. On the behalf of the International Securities Exchange, this is Steve Meisinger. Just one last note that we have another webinar on Thursday with Jack Crook, so please join us again. And I would love for all of you to come back and listen to the archive. Not only this archive with Mike Tosaw, but the other presentations that he's given. And you can always find Mike Tosaw at brokersexpress.com, so mtosaw at brokersexpress.com. Thanks again, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, Mike. So please, I just want to remind everyone, come back on Thursday, and then we'll be back with another webinar on Tuesday. So Thursday we have Jack Crooks with us, and then come back next Tuesday. We have other guests coming on. Just want to thank everyone for attending, and have a safe trading day tomorrow. Take care now.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.isc.com/podcasts.